Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
Holy moly, we are back. Send It Mate Podcast 2025. I'm Caleb.
I'm Josh.
I'm Couch.
And he's also a bit slow.
No.
Oh, wait.
Did you mute me and you didn't unmute me?
No, you were unmuted as soon as we were, mate. I've not forgotten.
Okay, well, I chimed in.
Wait, look, I just want to point out that we got a red roaring at the start of our show, and guess what? It's almost time for them big, beautiful bastards to be singing. I'm barred up.
As
You got a red.
You're going off early in the holster because it's fucking January, my friend, and it's 40 degrees.
Bro, it's not long. March. It's closer than it was yesterday, all right?
Oh,
He has a point. It's I guess he's seeing people starting to get out there a bit more and, pulling a few deer.
Well, Bretty.
Brett's 19 point
Yeah,
that
he's
I
well
counted.
ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't see that because I've just not been on social media much recently.
He was quite fortunate, actually, from what I've seen. I haven't actually seen all of it, but he got a nice ambush on its way back into its bedding zone from like 20 meters away. So I haven't seen all of it, so I'm gathering he was bow hunting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
19 pointer,
good work.
eh?
From what I counted, like there's probably a few more nubs, but yeah.
Yeah, good on you.
Caleb likes the nubs.
If he left it a few more months, though, it would have been a killer deer.
I don't know about you, but velvet heads just don't interest me.
No, I don't.
That was a nice head, regardless if it was velvet or not, to be honest.
Look, you're right, but
it wasn't balled up.
another month and it would have been hard.
Munted heads interest you?
They do.
He was fully grown. He wasn't growing much more than that.
Look, I had a terrible year last year, mate. It was all wonky donks, mate.
Yours was snapped off, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then the fellow I got prior to that, it was like it was a young buck. One side was just a stick.
Yeah. Well, I think it was my year for reds this year.
It looked like an antenna rather than an antler.
It did.
Yes, it did too.
And it's actually quite funny because I shot one of the does it was with, and then I was mid carving that thing up to get it in the pack to get it out. Turn around and this buck's just Googling me, like just full goony Google eyes, just like barking at me.
Got the laptop out.
Googling
It's like been-
Is he like just looking at your bloody internet footprint, see what you've been looking at? Do I want to be killed by this guy or not?
Note to listeners: don't Google Josh.
Thank you.
No,
There will be nothing worth Googling anyway. You won't be. He's like a ghost in the bushes. You won't find him.
yeah.
Other than Centreback, you'll find his face.
It's a good looking face.
Oh, yep.
But yeah, I'm going to say 2025 is probably my year for red deer this year. So hopefully,
Called it early.
I'll pop the cherry. I'll pop the cherry in the reds.
You know, you're going to go out again and just shoot another dog.
Hang on, you got a red yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh fuck.
It's a bit slack.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I was a little late, apart from our hunts last year. I was a little AWOL on hunting, to be honest. I didn't do a whole lot,
Well, that's true.
but
Too busy.
yeah, so
changing
it's
state
been
for
a-
the fourth time.
exactly. It's I'm being sort of probably good 18 months, 2 years since I've really hunted properly.
What?
Hello.
Well-
what was the rut last year? April.
No, but that was one hunt I had. That was it.
That was still
The whole year.
Still a proper hunt.
No, but like, you know how you get a couple of hunts in consecutive
Oh,
Order.
like regular.
and you actually put some time and effort into the hunting? Like that's something I haven't actually done. So
So you need to get back to a level where you can actually call yourself a hunter, not just a
Exactly.
a
Yeah, 'cause I'm-
casual enthusiast.
that has crossed my mind. I'm like, I'm not really a hunter at the moment. Then again, once you hunt, you're a hunter. You don't have to do it all the time, but as long as you can provide.
Which
don't know.
clearly you can't.
I can't. Not red deer. No. So
Oh dear. No, I
Yeah.
reckon you'll get a cracking red this year, mate.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I got a property close, so I can go for red. It's not going to be the biggest deer on the block, but
No, we reserve
it'd be
this
nice
for
to get
me,
back down to New South Wales again.
It's all
Whether
right.
we do the same place or we go get our R licenses and go bush.
Or renew our licenses.
Got it.
Mhm.
I've already been Google searching places in New South Wales, actually.
I'm jonesing for a hunt. Actually, it's been a while
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been.
because summer's one thing, and look, I've shot deer in summer, but just the the desire to do it when it's 40 degrees is seriously lacking.
Oh,
Oh, fuck that.
I can't even
Nothing
get out of
worse.
aircon in 40 degrees these days.
Are we getting old?
There's nothing
We're
worse
getting
when
old.
it's sweltering. Mm.
We are getting old.
Man, when your crutch forms its own life form,
Ecosystem.
yeah, you bail out. You're just like, nah, I'm good.
Is that a thing with age as well? I've noticed the ball sweat is just on steroids lately. Like, just
Yeah, no, I'm feeling
But
it.
is it your way of mitigating heat? That's probably not the region. It's more about the how your body deals with it.
I don't know. It's just embarrassing. Like, you sit down on a chair and you're like, I'm pretty well in order here, and then you get up and there's just a
leave an imprint.
there's a wet patch underneath you when you get up.
Yeah, I'm there, man. I'm there, bro.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need some science behind this. Is it a thing that ball sweat increases as you get older? What's the science behind that?
Why hasn't someone come up with a remedy? You know, like a little bit of like gooch spray or something you can put
Or like
there.
an absorbent pad or something.
tampon.
Like just a liner for your
wear a
jocks.
pad. Just wear a pad.
We could just wear liners in our jocks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a thing. There is actually a liner for, like, it's an actual product, a liner for the front of your pants or jocks for pee stains. That's a real product.
That's becoming a thing as well as I get older too.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should discuss all our medical issues. Maybe we need to get Dr. Tim back on. But I have noticed
Yeah.
that it is a lot harder to switch off the tap and make sure all the drips are out when you're older.
Thank goodness, man. 'Cause
Okay,
I thought I was the only one in this group that's like,
Well, you're the
feel
only one in your
issues.
20s
feel
to have
so.
that issue.
I feel seen. Like piss drips on the front of your pants is much more of a concern than it ever used to be in any stage of my life. Okay, cool. I
Yeah.
feel seen. I feel heard.
hang on, all right.
Phew.
So you may not have this one, but what about headaches in the morning? Never suffered from it in my
No,
life.
I think that's due to hydration, to be honest.
No, but every night I'll drink a litre, give or take, before bed.
No,
I think you're having red
Yeah.
wine too much.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're having red wine every night, I'm not surprised.
is there a kid screaming every morning?
Oh,
The
look,
headaches just
yes, but this
induced.
happened pre-kid, started happening, and I'd just wake up and I'd have headaches. And I was sitting there actually driving home the other day, and I'm like, what What if it was like a tumor or cancer or something like that? I should probably go get it checked out.
Well, if it's consistent headaches and it's out of the normal.
It is. And I do drink about a litre before bed every night of water. And I know
I thought you were
this.
going to say wine. I'm like, holy shit.
Well, look, there's 1 or 2 glasses of wine, which I'll try and cut down this year.
It's not a headache in the morning, it's a hangover.
But, no, 1 or 2 is fine. If I hit 4, I'll start getting a little bit how you going the next day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have noticed though getting older is just the fatigue and soreness of my body. If you have a couple of hard days of doing something, it just hangs about and you feel it for the next 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
Well, especially now, like you're out of the habit of doing manual labour.
Oh yeah, that's
It's a shock to the system.
half of it. Yeah.
When it's,
I'll tell you what though, it has been hot. Well, it hasn't been hot up here, but it's been
Shut up.
the humidity's been through the roof.
Shut up.
Yeah,
You made your bed. You fucking lying
Yeah.
it, bro.
Oh no, I'm not complaining about that.
You're welcome to come and have a nice dry heat 40-degree day with us.
Burn your skin
anytime.
off. Yeah. Just you get cancer before you even get out the door.
Nah, like it was the last probably 5 years down when I was in SA. I felt the summers getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, and then me being able to deal with that sun every year, it was just slightly less, and it would kill me even more. And I'm like, something's going on. Either my body's changing and not being able to deal with it, or this sun is getting hotter, and fuck this. So
Once again, I'm
the
happy
sun's-
to hear this from you because I feel the same way. And I thought it's just me. I'm like, I'm just being a little bitch or something.
Well, I feel like I can deal with the heat better than I used to. Like it doesn't feel as oppressive, but the ball sweats through the roof. So maybe my body's dealing with things in a different way.
It's venting.
Just venting through my testicles. I don't know, but I remember being a kid and it was 40-degree day and you were like, oh, this is the worst. And you just got to be inside in the aircon all day. But now I'm just like, it's 40 degrees, whatever.
No.
But you're not going to lay out in the sun.
Nah, definitely not.
Hang on. I've got another one for you. Right. This is another ailment. So lately I've been, about the last 6 months, I'll go to bed and it'll feel like there's worms in my legs, just like wiggling. And like that was the only way I could sort of like describe it, right?
I have a feeling I know what you're talking about.
And then I'm like, wait, it's not worms, it's tingling in my legs, but it's like this dull ache that goes with it, along with every now and then a shooting pain. And I'm like, and the shooting pain I've had before, but the tingling in my legs, I haven't. And so I finally got jack of it the other day. Once again, Googled it. I'm like, oh, okay. Cancer. It's a tumor.
I have 2 weeks to live. Oh, shit.
It's nerve damage. I'm like, well.
My right foot has been like that probably almost a decade now.
Okay.
Where I don't really feel it when I'm active and doing stuff, but when I lay down in bed, my right sole of my foot just aches.
Okay.
And that's like, it's not tingly or anything. It's just an ache. And some nights it could be almost keep me up. Other nights it's fine.
Oh, wait till you get the little tingly worm sensation. You're like, have I done meth today or something?
I can't say I've ever had the worms. I've had it feels like little air bubbles in your legs, but that's it.
No, it's more of like a tingling sensation, and you're like, your muscles are like twitching, but really concentrated in like certain areas.
Oh,
yeah. Get that checked out, bro.
I probably won't.
You Google anything, it says you've got cancer, pretty much. So just maybe actually go to the doctor.
See, I thought you were on about, you know how you lay there in bed, you had a chair and that, you dry your legs or whatever, and you lay there in bed and it's your hairs just like releasing from your skin or something, and it feels like something's crawling in your leg.
That's cancer. Sorry, man.
But it's like your hair is just like relaxing and they just sort of like just move a little bit, and it just feels like something's crawling in your leg. Have you ever had that?
I get what you mean, but when
solo here or what?
When I check, it's usually like a spider or something.
Yeah,
it's literally something. It's like a huntsman. Yeah.
Oh man, we're getting old.
Look, it's inevitable. It happens, but we're not actually old.
Definitely don't feel as old as what I thought I would feel looking at like being 25, looking at someone that's 35. And you're like, fuck, you're old. And you get here and you're like, I'm still good.
I think your brain's still good, but it's that transitional. We're at that phase of like it's that transition into okay.
I think it's where
you're an old bull now. Like you passed.
It's all mentality.
Yeah,
it's all mentality. You see guys that are just like killing it at 45, 55.
Yeah, but they're doing NADs and peptides and steroids.
You're killing it, man.
Joe Rogan specials.
You do what you have to do.
Honestly, some of these 50-year-olds, like I'm looking at them and they're like got an 8-pack, they're jacked as. I'm like, bro, that is not natural.
Slow down. What are you doing?
There's got to be a point where you're like, I can't maintain this, so you stop, and then it goes downhill quick.
No, well, then you do a liver kin and you get ab implants and all the rest of it.
Yeah, just falsify it all and you're good to go.
And
well,
start eating raw heart and testicles. I actually wiped some raw testicles on a fella's face the other day. Just throwing it out there.
Can you give us some context behind that story?
Look,
yeah,
it was his first, first legal harvest of Skippy. And the thing that like Richie used to do, wipe a bit of blood on your face. Yeah. I'm like, oh well, there's no blood on this animal. It actually, we thought he scared the roo to death and missed, but he shot him. And I'm like, oh, there's no blood to wipe it off. And I'm like, oh, well, we'll make a coin purse out of his testicles. So I cut him off and then I just wiped him. I'm like, congratulations, wiped him on his face. Yeah.
So I remember
Nice of you.
in the past doing that, and I've had just random sets of balls getting thrown at me by Josh.
This wasn't hunting.
Well, it is not just me.
It wasn't hunting.
There is Caleb. There is a plethora of other people to choose from, mate.
I've never had Caleb throw sets of balls.
I didn't have to. He sorted
I've
them
never
out.
seen
He spooned into my crotch. He put his own head in my nuts. Anyway.
I think the only other culprit probably would be Hayden. Like, I've plenty of times where there's been deer and there's just been a sack get thrown across the camp. But it's been you two every time, I reckon.
We just have
there's something going on there.
Dicks and balls.
Yeah.
I've definitely thrown a deer's wang at someone. When like not the balls, just like whilst I was butchering it.
Cock slapped him.
Turkey slapped with a dick.
That's the one. I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's funny.
Look, we harvest every bit of the animal. It all has a use.
Do you chew?
I wouldn't. You wouldn't eat one, surely.
Oh, I reckon
There'd be someone out there that's
you crock pot it, man. You'd put it in a crock pot, make a nice casserole.
Well, you could just stuff it with some like cheese and stuff, and it'd be like
it could come with cheese, mate. Surely a deer's wang tastes like piss. Like I don't eat kidneys because they taste like piss.
Well, I don't know. Like, do Rocky Mountain oysters taste like semen?
I haven't.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, yeah, Josh, do they?
Actually, speaking of dick and tasting, I heard the other day, and this has ruined it for me, but someone said a clean penis tastes like avocado.
Oh, there was a YouTube thing about that. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not eating avocado ever again.
Caleb's like, damn, there goes my favourite food.
I'm all smashed over on toast.
Yeah, we need some clarification on someone that's dabbled in both. Josh?
I'd say run it past your missus, but you'd have to clean it first.
It's more like Kentucky Fried Chicken, mate. So Caleb catch you on it. Gobble.
The clean KFC, not the dirty one.
Anyway.
You're all cooked.
Well, yes, but, we're now...
Anyway, how long has it been since we've done a potty? It's been a while.
Late last year. I reckon it must
September?
have been maybe later, maybe November.
It was pre-Shot Expo.
So October. Yeah, so early October maybe.
Maybe.
I can't remember, man. There's been a lot going on.
It's been a very long time.
It's been too long. I've missed doing this for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to.
The listeners have missed. Thank you to everyone who's reached out and said, when you guys coming back? We miss you.
Just to get half an hour of dicks and balls again before we get into the podcast.
Just want to thank the guys that haven't said that either. Thank you, guys.
Maybe
thank you for not wishing us back. But yeah.
Cheers to all the haters out there as well. There still isn't any.
That's. I'm surprised actually.
In 8,
it's not like we're a hard one to fire a shot at.
Look, we'd stir some of the Blue Head Army up for sure, but they haven't found us yet. Nor do we seek them out and target them either. So,
but didn't you know there's only 2 genders now?
Yeah, Trump said so.
How good is that?
Yeah. Oh, did you see Barron Trump talk to Joe Biden? There's a meme going around.
Yeah, I've seen.
And he's like leant in, and he's like, as he's leaving, he's like, "Oh, you forgot to pardon yourself" to Joe Biden as he left.
Well,
he pardoned a lot of people on his
he did
second to last day,
like all his family and that. But there's some theories about what Barron actually said. Some people think, he said you've got to pardon yourself. Others think he said you're fired. I can't remember what the other one was. There's another one, like some lip-reading chick said something. And then, like when he went to his mum, is Melania his mum? I assume she is.
Yeah,
I don't actually know. But she definitely said, be nice. And then he looked back. But yeah.
You know he's 6'8".
Is he that tall?
Yeah, he's 6'8".
Freaking hell.
Who?
Barron Trump.
Jesus.
Here's one for you, which this is I find little funny, little hard to sort of swallow actually. But so Biden
tastes like avocado.
Biden's pardoned like his son, right? No one really is talking about that from the left. But as soon as Trump pardons the 4th of July,
January 6th.
January 6th, that's it. Like all those people that did the riot or whatever, everyone's talking about that and how he's, it's a terrible thing, this and that. And I'm like, wait a second. Biden's son was like in a mass scandal involving everything under the sun. And you're not talking about how he's pardoned him 2 days before leaving office.
Even if they're pardoned, you can still make the truth public. And then, it'll get taken care of eventually. Whether it's just they're not that someone would take action, but it'll be harder for them to live the life that they want to live.
Yeah, they'll tie that crap up in litigation so it doesn't get out publicly for a long time.
Could they?
Like it's like the whole JFK thing, Trump releasing that.
Oh, declassifying it.
Yeah, and you're like, it doesn't really matter now. It's like
it doesn't, but it'd be good
later
to see if the CIA and stuff were involved.
Oh, I reckon.
Even if it's different people in CIA now than when it was, but
the way it was alluded to, because JFK was trying to disband or collapse the CIA. So, it wouldn't surprise me if it was.
And I think people are smart enough to realise it probably wouldn't be a surprise if it all is the CIA at play.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the latest on Trump deporting all these Mexicans back to Mexico? And the third, so he was flying them out of America. On the third flight of 80 illegals flying out of America, Mexico denied the flight. Flight went back to America. Trump called the president, prime minister, whatever he is, of Mexico and said, due to the fact you're denying him, your tariffs are now 25%. Yeah. Take him back or it's going to be 50 by the end of the week. Yeah. So that's nuts. I don't know. I feel like that's the person you want in is to just not take the shit. Yeah, it's gone too far now to not be that.
I don't think you have to agree with everything Trump says or has done, and certainly everything he's done in the past is not exactly the best. But to have a leader that actually stands up for common sense things and actually seems from the outset to have the people's interests in mind, especially with his external revenue service rather than internal revenue service, where he wants to actually make all the money from tariffs in other countries rather than taxing the shit out of your own citizens.
The public.
Which I think we should definitely implement here, especially with all our I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but all our natural resources that we export and we make fuck all money, and yet we make more money from HEX repayments from students than we do from natural gas export.
Yeah, but they're closing our natural gas down here by like 2027 or something. So Sydney,
They're trying to.
Sydney, they've no new homes having gas put to them. I think maybe this year. I can't remember when they're trying to implement it.
It's got to be electric heating.
And yeah, they've closed down like heaps and heaps of the taps or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, and then you got
Doesn't that just put an excess stress on our grids?
Well, it would do.
That we can't really supply fully now?
Well, not without going nuclear, and nuclear takes 50 years to build. They're talking about these miniature nuclear plants, which I think will take 15 years to build. I don't quote me, I can't remember. But
I didn't think we were committing into nuclear, but...
No, we won't be able to support the grid unless we go nuclear.
No, 100%, yeah. But we won't, because there'll be too many people just thinking about the worst rather than where nuclear could be now.
Dutton's for it, I think. I think it was Dutton. He's pretty for going nuclear. So it depends on, I guess, our next elections where it all goes. So
pretty much. I think it'll go back to Liberal again. If we follow suit to like the merit, because this is the wider discussion is that people are starting to vote away from the left side of politics and go like America's done with Trump.
It's both. Our Liberal and Labor people are moving away from. So in my personal view,
Greens and
if Democrats were put God first, one, and two, they fall for everything a little bit, the Democrats, and they don't stand for certain things. But if they fix those two parts up, they'd be a very good party to vote for.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's at the end of the day, you're not going to get absolutely everything right, but I can certainly see why Americans voted for Trump, because they want to see the end to the ridiculous nature
the
of
minorities,
politics and all the woke side of things, and people do seem to be sick of all that now. But
it's because you can't live, man. You can't live.
You can't live. You have to feel sorry for being white, for driving a car that uses diesel, for doing anything. And then you got Trump on the other side of things going, "We're going to drill, baby, drill," and like actually get the oil out of the ground. Versus like all the Greens, like, "Oh, you can't drill there because you'll kill the environment, or you can't capture all that water because some fish will die," and then there's no water in the hydrants.
Yeah, and next minute your state's on fire.
Yeah. Man, the conspiracy theories around that are wild. Even down to like, I saw one the other day, which was starting to get a bit out there around things that were blue were purposely avoided by some.
That was right from Hawaii. The fires in Hawaii as well.
Yeah,
things talking about blue.
This. So there's some energy weapon in the sky that can start fires on the ground basically, but it passes over anything that's blue. And it ties in with something Biden said about, you notice all the houses with blue roofs didn't catch on fire. And yeah, there was a lot of crazy things, but then there's also the ones about they want LA to be a smart city. There was some similar fires in Hawaii, and then all the infrastructure got burnt down and they could build what they wanted. I reckon the same thing in LA, but
that's a long bow to draw, bro.
It is a very long bow. Like
it is. I've
never heard of it.
So the Sean Ryan show, he interviewed some. Now I don't know how credible this fella was, but he was like, he seemed a bit on the spectrum, sort of a bit. I don't know, how do I put this? A bit special. But he said he was involved in some base in Antarctica where they were developing some sort of directed communications thing, which also could be used as a weapon system. And that's then Hawaii caught it on fire. This was last year. And that's when the memes first came out about the whole, it's this directed energy weapon system, and it skipped over these certain coloured buildings and burnt everything else. That's where that comes from. This dude's like full space cadet, like, Space Force, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting to think about.
Did you just Google it?
Oh, I was kind of quickly having a look. I went to photos, didn't bother. I didn't want to read.
Look, especially after COVID, I'm a lot more open to some of these conspiracies than I used to be.
I like it.
Did you see the
you're not
CIA?
boring anymore.
The CIA have accepted the fact, or they said that evidence points to the fact that COVID was released from a lab.
Yeah.
They've actually accepted that now. So how many, 5 years on, 6 years on? Yeah. And CIA, I'm guessing because of the new, because Trump is a part of that. So CIA probably feels like they can accept it. But yeah, it's kind of weird how things are going to be catching up, and it'd be interesting to see what comes out this year.
Yeah, I want to see what's new. Like, I don't know, the penguins have laser beams on them or something.
Well, wasn't there something about the fact that Russians trained orcas or something?
There
was some Russian trained dolphins or something like that.
It was killer whales
that they use for. I'm not sure if it was IED based, or it was just surveillance.
See, in my mind now, I'm like, I can't remember if this is fact or this is a Matthew Riley book.
No, I think I've read something about it before as well, and I think the West tried it with dolphins as well. Some crap.
It'd be dolphins or orcas, I reckon, because they're pretty smart.
But I mean,
when
you don't.
The
need
Russians
it
trained dolphins, and we trained orcas. Try and outdo them.
Yeah. Hang on, bro.
We train
paper,
penguins.
Scissors. We'll play orca, dolphin, crab. No, it's what? Hang on. I got something. I just got to get my memory back there.
Getting old.
Direct energy weapon, blue, dolphins,
Training dolphins,
whales,
dolphin, crab, orca.
Oh, drones, drones, man! Like you don't need to train animals anymore.
Nuts.
So there's like sea-bearing drones and that they're working on now as well. There's heaps of stuff.
Drones have come a long way, really quickly as well.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the Ukraine stuff. The drones are heavily used there.
Yeah.
Not just as surveillance either. So it's kind of, I don't know, where's it going to go in 10 years? So
it's going to be nuts. Like you see some of China stuff they do with their drone shows and whatever, where they got like thousands of drones all at once.
Was it Black Mirror where they said, is it, the series Black Mirror? Or Black?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it was like a drone the size of a bee, but it'll hold a charge that would destroy like 50 mil of its area. And they'll get a drone that'll fly onto your head and it'll explode.
Oh, wait a second. I saw this in the beta phase with Israel and putting bang in pages.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So, look, I don't reckon that's far-fetched, bro.
It's not far-fetched, but it's like to be honest, you'd be able to kill people without them knowing that they're getting
100%.
attacked.
You got something that's the size of a bug land on the back of your head and just explode.
Yeah. And just out of nowhere.
Honestly, how ruthless is Israel? Or dead set, we'll intercept this shipment of pages that we know that's going to Hamas, and we'll just put 20 grams of explosive in there as well. And then we'll detonate them all at the same time. That's intensely smart.
It is smart, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we probably should stop talking about this. Just to, in case something does happen. These guys.
That seems to be the hottest topic among people that have no fucking clue about what they're protesting is Israel-Palestine.
Look, we can go down that rabbit hole, but how long you got, mate?
No, I will give that one a minute.
Oh, speaking of protesting. So obviously just having Australia Day come through again.
Here we go.
The 26th of January protests.
Yeah.
Now, I was thinking about it last night, right? And I'm actually partly all for changing the date.
You are.
Now we can call this date 26. We can call it Invasion Day, and then we'll still have a beer and celebrate it. and then we'll have a beer on the 28th, National Australia Day.
And we're worried about talking about Israel.
That seems more racist to celebrate invading.
Yeah.
Well, no, like, and then it's 2 public days off rather than 1.
So you sort of hit the nail on the head
So
here.
you're
Why
doubling
are
your day
people
off.
upset? You get a day off to do whatever you want, and typically it's a long weekend. So sick. Like, who cares what it is?
And even if we do change the date, what's that achieve?
I don't think it achieves anything.
It doesn't.
I think the day is whatever you want to make it, and I think people should just choose to celebrate that we live in a great free country. And I think actually our premier was having a chat about it the other day, Malinauskas, even though he's Labor, he's reasonable, and he was talking about exactly that, like make the day whatever you want. He's sick of the debate every year because it just goes around and around, and we do this thing, and then everyone's supposed to feel sorry for it, and blah blah blah. We just waste time and effort talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it the same. Make it what you want. And one of the best things about Australia Day is actually the citizenship ceremonies, where you've got a bunch of people that want to become citizens that probably left somewhere that was a bit shit, in a lot of instances, and
Or just
actually
they want a new start.
actively want to become a member of this great country. And he said that's one of the best things to do on Australia Day. And I've been to a couple, like with friends who have immigrated to Australia, and it's actually a really special day. What?
I'm trying to think about outside of us two,
Like
who other friends you have.
Yeah,
family, friends. Like, you don't know everyone I know, but I've been there. Like, for
Incorrect.
even for people who are like British, for example, and they've been here for the 50 years, but they've been permanent residents. They actually haven't become citizens. So, like, my mum was one. She came in when she was 2. She didn't actually become a citizen. She was a permanent resident. She didn't actually become a citizen until I think in her 50s.
I think I would take that long to be a permanent citizen, just because, like, and to be a Australian, just because of the tests you have to do. It's quite hard.
Well,
Compared to what we know about Australia to what they have to. Like, it's nuts.
I mean, it's not that hard, but yeah, it's
From what I hear,
there's
it's
some
like
curly
there's
ones in there.
yeah.
But it's actually a
But you're
nice
like, I
day.
have no idea.
Celebrating the country we live in, and every country has a sordid past. So at what point do you say, all right, that's happened, let's move on, let's move forward, let's unify? It's the division that gets me, that we have to like talk about changing the date and all the atrocities and blah blah blah. Every fucking country in the world's had someone invade them and take them over, and if it wasn't the English here, it would have been the Dutch or the Spanish or whoever. So it may as well have been us.
There was actually a poll on Facebook, where all the truth lies, and it was done by 7 News, I think it was, and they said like it if you like Australia Day or want to keep it, and then angry face if you don't. So when I looked at it, there was 73,000 likes. Guess how many didn't like it? Like, as in wanted to change the date. Guess the number. So out of 73,000 people that did like it, how many people you reckon didn't?
1,500.
700 and something. Less than 1,000. So therefore, you're looking at 1%.
Yeah.
And just like that carries across Australia, we're having all these issues and these debates about this thing over a 1% issue.
Well, it happened, the day in question or the time in question happened over 200 years ago. None of us were alive. None of us are responsible. We've had Sorry Day, National Sorry Day. We've had official this, that, and the other. Like, we celebrate Indigenous culture. We have NIDOC Week, which is an entire fucking week. Like,
at what time do you just class us as we are people? So we are the same, regardless of colour, regardless of family histories, but each individual gets treated the same, regardless of male, female, black or white or whatever, wherever you come from. As long as you're not done it illegally, then you are treated the same.
Yeah.
See, this is where I like the state's example of this day, or what I think their equivalent is, and that's Thanksgiving. Why don't we have a day to be grateful for everything?
I mean, would it be Thanksgiving or Independence Day is their equivalent?
Oh, okay, both. Oh, yeah, right. Independence Day.
Being thankful would be Thanksgiving, but celebrating the independence.
Yeah, but so why don't we be like a Thanksgiving Australia Day? There you go, and get 2 days off instead of one, so we don't get raw.
No, you have it on the 28th or like the next following business day.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't have it next day because in case it's Saturday, Sunday.
Because, I mean, when do you ever get with like a group of people and you're just there and you're thankful for it all and you verbally like express that you're all thankful for what you've got?
Well, you raise a fair point. But I feel I feel like that's a big part of Australia days. Yeah, you might just be going to the beach and getting on the piss or whatever, but the sentiment for me since I was a kid was always celebrating the fact that we live in a free country where, you know, our forefathers have fought for the rights to our freedom. And we just like, it's a bit like the sort of sentiment from Anzac Day. We like, you're thankful for what the country is and why it is what it is now.
Yeah.
It's a diverse, free country with nice weather, nice places to go visit. We're not oppressed. Yeah, there's a lot of shitty politics that need fixing, but all in all, it's not a third world country.
Yeah, we could at least.
And then again, like I guess people are protesting. We do have the freedom of speech, so
why don't
you can
they do
protest if you want.
Why don't they do an advert campaign with that sort of ethos instead of this like, oh, should we keep it? Shouldn't we?
Because you got to be politically correct, not correct.
Nah.
Well, it's not it's because the woke agenda is something that gets a lot of traction and attention and eyeballs on it, and
it's too much empathy these days.
Let's be honest, it is a minority that is catering to. Whereas if enough of the average person who thinks like along the lines we do actually said something and weren't so apathetic and quiet about things.
We're so lazy as well.
We're lazy. We're naturally lazy. Like the
super
majority
lazy.
think the way that we do, but they don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The vocal ones are the minority.
Yeah, the squeaky wheel gets a grease. We've
Pretty
all heard
much.
that. Which is true. It's 100% true.
I just want to see much the same way as Trump. I just want to see common sense prevail.
Hang on, can I just chuck this out there?
Do it.
I ain't protesting on 41-degree day. Stop that. No matter the bigger the cause or what, I'm going to be like, nah. I'm
This is why
Protest-
I don't move
protest at a
forward,
bar.
Josh, because you're not prepared to put your sweaty balls on the line.
No, I'm not.
Stuff that. though. Like, in all honesty, like, yeah, stuff that.
Yeah, I'd rather be at the beach.
What does it really
Drinking a
achieve
tinny.
other than just stirring people up? A little bit.
The protesting's changed a lot since last decade, 2 decades, in the way people actually try and express themselves at a protest. So now, currently, it's about disruption.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, there would have been previous events before we were born that was about disruption as well, but I just don't feel like it's held in the same respect.
It's like the hippies used to, you know,
Yeah.
protest
off
things and like
highways
chain
and
themselves to
roads and-
trees and bullshit back in the day as well. Like it's
Yeah, but AIDS was a natural selection there. That sort of
2
helped.
decades later.
That sort of helped a little bit.
What are you implying, that hippies are gay? Like, what are you saying?
Look, there was a strong sort of like AIDS populace
Hippies-
within the hippie community.
Hippies are 60s. AIDS came out in the 80s as in prevalence.
Yeah, because of the hippies in the 60s.
Took 20 years to show. Yeah, fuck.
Oh dear. Oh well. Let's just have some common sense about stuff.
100%.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of.
I feel like the needle's
woke
swinging
agenda.
back. Like
It does feel like
it's
it.
swinging back.
It does feel like it. And
Hang on, do you think it's swinging back, or is that just hope, or do we need a push to make it swing back?
it's confirmation.
I feel
bias.
like
it's 100% confirmation bias, but yes,
I feel like it's only just started, but I feel like it's starting to move.
early
But
trends.
you know, it takes people like Trump to openly do these things and to become an example of it, and people do follow.
We will follow suit. Surely Australia
100%.
follows suit to America.
Hopefully we do. Otherwise, he'll probably just tariff the shit out of us. But
Can we have AR-15s back? Sorry.
please.
I don't think we're going to
But,
get a lot
I'm
of stuff
hoping.
back, but hopefully we don't get anything else taken away at the very least.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll happen.
You can take WA, but but yeah, it's I don't know.
What if we put
Hopefully,
like
it's got to swing back.
public service announcement out to like all shooters and to all move to Victoria? We'll do a big sweep, and then we'll just put up a really big fence around Vic.
I'm all for doing something like that country based. So if you want your laws to reflect like a Greens or whatever way, then you you live in a certain country.
I like that.
If you don't want to live in that country, you don't have those laws.
Send everyone that is left to Britain.
If you want if you want to live firearm based and you want free sort of laws firearm wise, then you got to go to America because it's probably closest bet.
I kind of like that actually. You're thinking on a grandeur scale.
One world following.
All right, so we'll take the US, Canada, New Zealand, and Hawaii. We'll somehow make them move so they're roughly in the same area.
You need like a grace period where, like, if you like or don't like these laws, you got till this date to make a decision. If you don't move away from the part you don't like, and your zone is classified as the opposite, then tough luck. Like, you got to deal with it or move.
How many times?
You don't have to. You don't have to move. No, but they can move at any time they want. They just have to.
How many celebrities actually left the US after Trump got elected?
I have no idea. Probably none.
Did you see that? Did you see that meme? It's like I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
I don't think any of them left. They just got their house. They just had their houses burnt down. They should have left.
Oh, speaking of houses burnt down, did you guys hear about the TikTok stuff in America?
Yeah.
So they banned TikTok for 2 days. And then Trump signed a hold on the ban.
Yeah, extended it
because I think they want to financially sort of dip into TikTok. But anyway, so the next day after the ban actually got passed, a 17-year-old kid burnt down his Senate's office.
What?
And so he got criminally charged. But then the day after he got caught, TikTok got released again. So he burnt down someone's office for a 2-day ban on TikTok.
Jeez.
So tough luck, bud.
I don't even use TikTok, man. I don't on TikTok.
TikTok's kind of.
I think when we had it briefly for Send It Mate, I looked at it and I was like, this is too much. This is like a whole other thing to just distract your attention.
It's a different world. I'm flicking across to X, so I'm finding I'm using that a little bit more.
Okay.
I'd like just like a pro shooting, pro outdoors, like Google and Facebook and Instagram. That's like that same sort of style of platform, just for us.
What style platform? Like, as in
like an Instagram, but it's not like it's for outdoors and shooting. Get rid of the rest of the shit.
Well, like you can just not follow stuff that you're not interested in.
Yeah, you can curate the content to suit you.
Yeah, anyway. Then if you put something up that goes against their code or whatever, gets banned.
Have a look at Twitter or X again.
Yeah,
actually have a look at it, and then go to the stuff that you like. It's firearm
that's
friendly.
Not pretty pictures in that, man.
X, X is.
No,
it's
what
you
like
make
tweets.
Of it. No, it's picture. It's the same as Instagram.
Yeah,
ish. It's a different setup ish, but it's all firearm friendly. It's all hunting friendly. If you want to follow that shit, they're not going to curate it because of blood and gore or guns. But if I think the only thing they curate is anything that's actually illegal, like child molester.
Yeah, actual stuff. It'd be interesting to see what Instagram and all the Meta suite of stuff is like after Zuckerberg.
It's interesting that actually, hey, like
does or doesn't do the censorship stuff to the level like he was talking about on Rogan. He just jumps to whoever's in power, man. That's ridiculous. Yeah. He doesn't 100%. He helped the Biden administration just toe the line on all the censorship stuff, and now that they're not in power, he just wants to. It's just all business. But
then you had to look at having a look at his photos of actually him during those times, visually, he looks so much healthier now compared to 3 years ago.
Because he's doing jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah, but is that all? Or is that just due to stress? And if he was getting towed along to follow their line, and it wasn't doing, he was just like almost trapped in his own company, you'd feel pretty shit too.
It's hard to say unless you're on the inside, but
Exactly. But like, yeah,
it was
food for thought.
It was an interesting listen to him on Joe Rogan. But the most awkward thing to listen to in that conversation was when he started talking about bow hunting, and he was just like, it's like Rogan called him out instantly, and you could tell he was out of his depth. Like he didn't even know the brand of his own bow. Like that tells me you don't really know what you're doing.
Or he doesn't give a shit about the brand. He's not a. I haven't listened to the episode, so I don't know.
I'm not a bow hunter, but I feel like you're a little bit more intimate with a bow than you are with a rifle, maybe.
Yeah, but we know the brand because we have to spend so much for it. Because it's a lot of money for us, but for him, it's like buying something at Temu.
Well, I guess. But if you haven't heard him like listen to it, it wasn't just the fact he couldn't do that. He switched from like saying, it's like he was just saying stuff that he knew Rogan would like gel with. He's like, bow hunting's the ultimate. It's my favorite. It's the way to do it. And then Rogan's like, what bow have you got? And then he sort of backed himself into a corner then. And then Rogan was talking about using a firearm being much more efficient. And then he's like, predominantly I'm using a rifle. But, he just changed based on whatever seemed to be the path of least resistance, like he was going to get the most out of Rogan on.
Yeah,
it's a bit cringe. You can tell he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about
when he's just trying to impress. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, just trying to impress. It's like the nerd at a party. He just says what he thinks is cool, and you can tell he's just a nerd.
Yeah.
So Rogan didn't call him out, make him look like an idiot, but he made him look like an idiot.
It'd be interesting to see where Facebook, Instagram do go with this, like
community.
If they do go the full hog release it and kind of challenge. Hey,
what's it called? The community, like rather than a censor thing, it's like a community notes or something like that.
Yeah, something. I think that's what X calls it. Yeah, yeah. Which is community censored, so people just call out the bullshit. And I'm guessing it goes by majority.
Yeah,
but then majority is not always correct.
Yeah,
like you look at this COVID stuff.
It'd be interesting to see the mechanics of it. Like he talked on Rogan about how the censorship evolved in terms of like you write a program to take out the obvious stuff, but then they found it was like just censoring way too much. And then, but even then, when that was a bit screwy, we're like, well, who's inputting what's right and what's wrong? There's no, like, it still can easily be swayed to an agenda.
100%. Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, it was, because look at all the stuff that got censored.
And that's when you're censoring the people that actually know the right and wrong, or the yes and no's of answers, like the subject matter experts on I'm going to more COVID stuff. If you're going to ban those guys or take them off the playing field, then you won't know what's right or wrong because you got no one to fall back on.
Yeah. Well, this is a bit of a debate at the moment with Trump being elected and all the things that have been, they say, people are arguing back saying, well, you say it's all about free speech, yet if you're a trans person now, you're shunned and you can't have an identity, you can't express yourself. But then that's like an extreme view on it. What it is no, there's two genders. No one's saying you're not allowed to say you're a dude when you're a chick, or you can call yourself whatever you want. But legally,
you tick male or female.
There's two, which is scientifically correct, and let's be honest, it's common sense. But the argument back is now, well, you're driving an agenda and censoring everything else. So it's still censorship. It's just like a dictatorship. It's censored based on what one man says. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Well,
I get that argument, but it's actually common sense stuff.
Yeah. And then you got to, if you're going to appease people, you got to appease the majority. Like if the government's there to serve the community, then you got to serve the majority.
True.
So regardless of what it is, it's voted in. So therefore you have to serve the majority. Otherwise you're not doing your job. Correct. And again, if you feel like a certain way, then we'll call a certain country. We'll make it friendly for that. Like New Zealand. You guys can have it.
No.
No, not New Zealand. Let's go WA.
No, they're a new country. Let's go Azerbaijan or something.
Iraq.
Middle East.
Good luck.
I don't know where you'd send all the lefties.
I do.
Greenland?
You have to go to almost England.
The Middle East and England, yeah.
What's wrong with England?
Bro.
England's done.
Yeah. They've had their time. Yeah.
We're still like, we have the Union Jack on our flag, so, I guess we can't say that.
Let's become a republic also. That's the other thing.
It'd be nice. I don't see us doing it, but I don't know. I think mainly just see Australia, go our own way and not just be sort of tied. I don't know. Like what does the Crown give us?
Not a lot.
Commonwealth Games.
Other than
Yeah.
Something we can dominate.
Just choose up our TV.
it's other than like land titles. That's the Crown still essentially leases out.
Constitution.
Actually, wait till I finish up my. So after 55, Josh, we're entitled to a pension from the Crown. So after that point, where I've finished my entitlement, then we can break loose.
Hang on, what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you on about?
So I didn't find this out until I was looking at home loans when I was in Adelaide, and then talking about what I'm entitled to and like super, and then I was talking to Mill Super, and they were like, "Oh, do you know actually after the age of 55, the Queen put in the rule that it's only a small amount, but it's something, and it's like a pension till you're 85 or whatever." That you're entitled to, regardless of how much you earned in the army. It's just because you've served.
Okay.
So you're entitled to that after 55, which is kind of cool. It's nothing crazy, but it's I don't know,
It's money.
maybe $100 a week, something like that. It's something.
Oh.
But yeah, I didn't know this until she told me, and I'm like, it's funny what you don't get told when you leave. They just go, "Hey, here's a certificate. Good luck."
Yeah.
You're like, thanks.
You'll be back.
Yeah, I should have told that as well. Joke's on you. It's been 10 years. There's been a few people though that they leave, and then like 2 weeks later, they just rock back up again. You're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, changed my mind."
Yeah. Actually, man, they're getting good wages now.
Yeah,
good.
What you hearing?
It's 90 for our job is what I heard. I don't know how
I
true,
think when I was on like 80, mid 80s to 82 from memory.
with Bush.
Nah.
Field. Nah, you weren't anywhere near 82.
Or was it 60s?
Nah, you're about 55, mate. Far out.
No, I remember my fortnightly. I remember my fortnightly for sure. I think
You would have been about like $900
yeah, it's 900 a week.
a week. Yeah.
So 18 fortnitly. And that was pre-Bush.
That's
900 a
Not
week does not equal
80
82.
I'm not doing the math. But yeah, what does it
Maybe
make?
grab a
Caleb?
calculator out.
Okay, what does it make? But that 800 a week is clear after tax. You're making
it is, but it was $400 tax. So
or
we're pretty
900 a week, 1800 a fortnight. That was clear.
We're pretty much on $2,200 a fortnight before tax.
2,200 a fortnight before tax, so 4,400 a month.
Actually, yeah, that's
times
1,100 a week.
Times 12
Told
is
you,
52,800.
52,800. That's about
Yeah,
what
shit.
we're on.
Really? Fuck.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh, if they're making 80 to 90 now, kudos. I might go.
But
I
is
don't
that-
know how true that is.
Is
Just
that
a
living on
fella.
base? Is that living on base? Like, with
No,
like
so-
expenses
No, because
paid
it'll be
or
on
something?
base wage.
You
It'll be on
only
base
get
wage.
like you get if you're in Darwin or Queensland or something like that, you get remote locality, which worked out to be around the 27, 26 maybe clear fortnight, and that was with RA as well, like rental assistance.
If anyone's
That
still
wasn't off base.
serving and you want to clear this argument up, give us a bell or give us a message and let us know because I'm keen. I'm
So-
keen to know if they're getting looked after now.
One of the boys that you and I both know, that was when we were in, I catch up with him from time to time, and he was saying that, he's a fitter armourer now, actually. But he's like, the boys are saying they're about 90.
Google says they're 65. At January 2025, the average yearly salary, the average is 65.
Yeah, so
Whether
that's
Google's
going
wrong.
to go down a fair bit because in Kapuka, I think you're still like in that 30, 36, 37.
I want to find out what the infantry wage is, but yeah.
That would be
And
good.
not
You'd be
from
able to
a-
find out on Google for sure.
I mean, the 90 could be including bush.
Yeah, if you're clearing 90 for the year, Australian infantry soldier can expect to earn around
after tax.
Yeah,
Hey?
You both keep saying you're clearing a certain amount. Like that's so you're talking after tax.
yes.
Let's just talk
Okay.
before tax. Like
Okay, before 90.
90 before
Well,
tax.
this is saying, according to current data, an Australian infantry soldier can expect to earn around 70 grand a year in 2025,
Okay, so you add
with
bush time
variations
to that.
depending on
and
rank
yeah.
and experience. With
Yeah,
most
you add-
sources reporting around 65 to 75.
which
so, yeah,
which
if we-
sounds on par with like all the increases since you two have been in the military.
Yeah. Which probably isn't the whole
But I
lot.
mean, that's
really.
if I was 18 again and like 90 with bush, I'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Surely you want more if you go on push.
Bush wasn't much, man. They'd rip you off as well. So there's 3 tiers of bush. So if you got one hot feed out bush, you'd drop down a tier to like tier 2. So tier 1 was like going, let me air quote this, tactical. So you weren't getting a hot feed. There was no amenities, no nothing. And then the way they got around it was they just bring you out a hot box meal like once, and that's it. You're running on tier 2. And then tier 3 was like, say, if you went and did like a stint in, say, Port Augusta, but you had like a hard structure that you were living in.
Yeah, you go range weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
They were actually, I didn't mind those weeks, the range weeks. They were just chilled because you would spend 20 minutes at the range actually participating in the range. And then the rest of the time is just waiting for everyone else to do it.
That's a day. Like, and that's
Yeah.
depending on what you're doing. If you're doing small arms, no. If you're doing HE, then yes. You'd all be in a bunker and it would take the entire day for everyone to get their 2 rounds off and then hand shandy and you'd go home.
Oh, even just doing your proficiency shoots and all that. You sit there and it's majority waiting.
Oh, look, yeah, look for you and I and the majority of people, but some dudes couldn't pass LF6, bro.
Yeah, some dudes are shooting all day. But but yeah, like there's a lot of hurry up and wait, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Actually,
good
this
time.
brings me to a question, and it's probably a good little bridge.
Here we go.
Someone went to a certain place in the world for an entire month and didn't even get to shoot an AR-15.
Oh, yeah. Go on, Caleb.
Oh, you raise a fair point.
Actually,
I
let's
do.
talk about this whole subject. How was that?
Oh, look, it's pretty awesome. So, for everyone
Explain
out
what this was.
For everyone out there who doesn't know, I went to the States with my partner of the female persuasion.
I'm glad you said that
Yeah,
because I was going to be like, he's a man.
Well, Josh didn't go overseas.
My girlfriend at the time, who's now actually my fiance, I'll just get that out there. So,
Ooh.
Congratulations.
woo, thank you. So,
That was really bad,
around.
Josh. Don't do that again.
But
Yeah,
yes,
the boys
so I did propose to her while we went away. But we went on a holiday just for personal reasons together, just to check out the States. So saw quite a bit of the country. And to answer your question, no, I did not fire an AR-15. And I was looking out for places, but I didn't make a special thing like I have to go there. So I had some things I wanted to tick off, like going to Rogan's Comedy Club and going to Terry Black's Barbecue, which I did in Austin. Austin was where we ended up first. Great city, by the way. I would easily live there. Texans in general, I vibed with. Nice people.
So again, you went there to Texas and still didn't fire an AR-15, but continue.
Like, yeah, of all places I went to Texas. So But I flew into Dallas. I didn't spend heaps of time at Dallas, and then went out to Austin, which is where we were majority of the time. And then there was no gun shops or anything like that, or ranges close. So by the time I got to the next place, so we went from Austin to New Orleans to New York. There was nothing in New Orleans or New York. And then next place I looked was in Las Vegas. So there are actually joints in Las Vegas where you can go. It's like a gun shop or a firing range or indoor sort of thing. But there's other ones, and someone actually recommended one to me where you go there, then they take you on a bus out to an outdoor range, and you can spend all day firing all that shit. But it just didn't tie in with what we had planned already. So
I think that's your first mistake, though. You expected it to tie in by itself. Just fall into your lap, but create that moment.
So we half planned stuff on our trip, and then the rest of the time we sort of made it up as we
went.
Sounded
like it.
But this is the other thing. What was I going to do with the Dahl while I'm just doing all that shit?
Or they come with me or stay in the hotel.
No, she would have, if she got her hands on an AR-15 and got to actually participate, I reckon she
probably would have done it. And look, I could have.
And that was a perfect moment to propose. If she hit the target, then you propose.
Yeah. And you lay that on her. You'd be like, look, if you hit this, there is a big surprise.
Do it before she shoots and, lay it on her.
I will concede I could have made more of an effort to make sure I ticked that
Some
off,
effort.
but,
Would have been sound like it. But
yeah.
Call yourself a shooter.
Didn't happen.
Don't think so.
Didn't happen. But I do want to go back maybe when I've saved up some money again because it cost an absolute monster.
Buck's not.
The next trip I would rather do more like regional, like stay in one state, travel around that state for an extended period, and see more of the like national parks and
don't be rushed. Yeah,
like the natural wonders. So because they were actually the highlights. The ones I did do were the highlights for me. So like in New Orleans, we did a swamp tour. So out of the city, out into the bayou. That was pretty freaking sick. Like New York was nice, seeing all the bucket list items, like all the buildings and bridges and bullshit, and going to NBA games and hockey games and whatever. But once I got to Vegas, the day trip we did out to the Grand Canyon, where we hired a car and drove out there, that was like freaking hell. This is sick. This feels more like me.
How'd you go driving on the wrong side of the road?
I only fucked up once. So I hired a Dodge Challenger, which is kind of what I wanted to get, like a muscle car or something like that to start with. But when I reserved one, there wasn't any of those available. So I was like, oh, fuck, it's going to be like a Camry or some bullshit. But I still ticked premium on the reservation. Next day when I went in to actually pay and get the car, they're like, oh, do you want a Dodge Challenger for the premium vehicle? Which technically wasn't in the premium category. It was in like the muscle car category, which was supposed to cost me way more. I'm like, sure. Ended up getting what I wanted. So if anyone's ever done the Grand Canyon from Vegas, there's two ways you can do it. You can do the Western Rim, which is an hour and a half away, and there's like a sky deck there. You can actually walk out with a glass-bottomed bridge sort of thing.
That's cool. Yeah, I want to do that.
So that's an hour and a half from Vegas. We went the Southern Rim, sorry. So we go through Hoover Dam, check that out. That's pretty amazing on its own. You're like, holy shit, man built this thing to hold back that much water. It's immense. Then you get out. It's like 4.5 hours to the Southern Rim, but that's the better place to go first time. You can do all sorts of shit. Like you can do helicopter rides down into it. You can get dropped off in the bottom of it. You can like boat ride through the Colorado River. We just drove to like the visitor center. Then we walked about a K section along the edge, like to all the viewing points and whatever. Did a bit of a drive around as well. It's like more than a mile deep. It's crazy. And no photos or videos or anything I've ever seen do it justice to being there in person. It blows your mind.
Nothing ever does though in photos wise.
No. Like we got there because sun was setting like by 5:30 sort of thing. We got there about 2:30.
A bit of time.
And the afternoon sun, as it sort of changed, the colours of all the rocks and everything changed colour. It was actually like one of the most impressive natural, I don't know, features or beauties or whatever you want to say, like wonders of the world that I've actually been blown away and gone, fuck, this is amazing to think this can occur naturally.
Yeah.
Like the Dale was in tears, just looking out at it. Like you just get this sense of like grandeur and the scale of the thing. You can't comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was probably the highlight. So I want to do more of that sort of stuff. Like we bumped into 3 blokes from Melbourne, and they were basically doing the reverse of what we did. So they'd been to LA and Vegas already, had also gone up north a bit and done Yosemite and like Yellowstone and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, that is absolutely sick as well. You got to do that. If you got time, do it. I'm like, yeah, we don't have time. But I think I want to do that next time. Like I wouldn't mind doing maybe a bit of Canada as well, and then coming down the western side, like through Rocky Mountains, seeing all the national parks there as well. Do Montana. Go for a hunt. That's the other thing. Do more of the outdoorsy stuff.
12 months. It'd be good to spend 12 months work and travel, and you'd be able to actually absorb way more than just doing a holiday.
Yeah, like a month. Month felt like a long time by the end of it. And
yeah, but you're busy doing planned stuff, I'm guessing.
Half and half.
You got a checklist to sort of roughly, follow.
Yeah.
But if you actually could live there for 12 months, as is just a...
I mean, it would be nice to be earning American dollars. Because
maybe.
The exchange rate was shitful.
Yeah, but like, effort involved, would it be the same, or would you have to work more to earn it?
It depends on your job, let's be honest, because if you're working as a waiter and you're relying on tips, that ain't great. We're lucky to have the minimum wage that we do. We also have terrible service. There's something I've actually noticed since we got back. We've been to a few restaurants since we got back. We noticed how bad our service is.
I noticed that when I went to Thailand, and you come back from Thailand and they're like, over there, they just do everything for you.
Yeah.
Or if you were needing something, they would be on it straight away.
Yep.
Then you come to Australia and they're like, no one wants to talk to you.
Yep. Like US restaurants, they're working for their tips. Like you get to the table, you get a glass of ice water straight out. You get introduced personally to the waiter. Hi, my name is such and such. I'll be your server today. Do you need anything other than this glass of water straight up? What can I get you? How's your day been? Then they're like, I take like 2 sips of my ice water while I'm waiting for my meal, and they're already back filling it up again.
Yeah, that's gold. So, how many waiters would they have in that, just say, for a given restaurant that you went to?
It'd be on par with here, like just enough to cover all the tables.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe a little bit more, like a fancier joint, but then like your bait, like we did a fairly broad cross section. And I'd say maybe they tended to have a few more, maybe, just so they could give that extra service.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're paying them like $5 an hour and it's all on tips, then I guess they can afford to have more staff on.
How much did you tip?
Depended. So like at a restaurant, the recommended was between 18 and 22%.
Yeah, okay.
But the rule of thumb is supposedly you tip whatever the state tax is. So in most places it was between, like across all of America, it was between 15 and 25% was what they recommended.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can still not tip at all if you want. Or you can...
But you just wouldn't want to go back.
You can do a custom tip. Like there was a couple of places where we had shit service or something went wrong and we just like no tip.
Yeah.
But if we had really good service, it was generally around 20%.
Yeah, okay.
At the bar, you're supposed to... Some people say like $1 per drink. I'd sort of go, well, if it was $30, I might put in 10%. Because at the end of the day, most of the time they just grab me a drink out of the fridge. Like I'm not tipping 20% for that.
Yeah. If they're going to mix up the drink, then it's different.
They do mix drinks better, like stronger, way stronger. Like it's none of this measuring out the alcohol and then filling the rest with mixer. It's pour both at the same time, and it's usually 2/3 alcohol.
You've seen the videos of bartenders and stuff doing those, like tipping into beakers for the millage, and they're just like measuring by heart, but getting pretty much to the mill. Correct.
Have
you seen those videos before? They've well, I'm guessing they're probably the best of the best, or they're probably top of the field. But if you don't have all these shot glasses to measure with, and you're taught to measure by timing, then you can get down pretty good.
Yeah, like I've been to some
lazy people that give you a little more.
I've been to some fancy bars. Well, they call themselves like an apothecary or something like that, and they've done it like it's real scientific with measuring everything out. But I think it's definitely, if you're an experienced bartender, you can sort of know how much you're pouring. So yeah, you keep talking because I have something in my throat.
Let's have a break because I got a piss.
Done. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to part 1 of this episode.
Tune in next week for part 2.
Catch ya.
G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.